And for more on this, earlier we talked to our correspondent Shweta Bajaj in New Delhi, and she gave us more on the background of the unrest and how the situation is expected to develop.
There has been sort of sporadic incidents of violence that has been happening since Friday here in India and in Indian state of Haryana. This erupted because of a certain community called Jats asked for a reservation. Now, reservation, number of communities here in India have that. Technically, they are all classified as minorities. Many of them are economically backward. Jats, though traditionally are very affluent, they are a very powerful community, especially for instance in the state of Haryana. About 30% of the parliament in Haryana actually belongs to the Jats, but they have been asking for a reservation. Now, this has happened because in the earlier regime, when the Congress government was in power, they did get reservation. That was taken back. They feel that their power in the state has been wielding before the current chief minister, who happens to be not a Jat. Before that, for 2 decades, about 20 years, Haryana actually had a chief minister who was from the Jat community, so they feel that their power is wielding. This evening, there were 74 columns of army that were brought in. 12 people have lost their lives really in this violence, 6 of them in the last 24 hours. Over 150 people have been injured. 7 railway stations have been blocked. 700 trains have been cancelled in the last 48 hours that actually go through the state. The situation was such that it was getting very difficult because the highways that connect states in India, a major part of that actually comes from the state of Haryana. Later in the evening, there was a meeting between the Indian Interior Minister Rajnath Singh and the leaders of the Jat community. Few of the demands have been met. The basic demand was to have them as a backward class, or at least a reserved class, in the next parliament session in the state of Haryana. They've agreed to it principally. Depending on the agreement, they have decided to actually withdraw army, but only partly. Now, a lot of army was at the border, at railway stations, at canals, areas where there were a lot of violence that was happening for the last 24 hours. So army is now slowly being withdrawn, but really situation at this point in time still remains extremely volatile. There are people in the state of Haryana, especially in the city of Rohtak, that haven't gotten out of their house in 24 hours to 48 hours. They're running out of essential supplies. The situation is such that the government has to bend down, but really questions being asked on how far can the government agree on every single demand that comes from different communities like that, because let's not forget, Jats essentially are not really backward classes here in India. In the state of Rajasthan, they are extremely affluent. They are also powerful and also politically influential.